Welcome to Thoughts Roundup. I want to talk to you today about my old home church. It was called Camp 8. It was in Louisiana, Otis, Louisiana, about 23 miles from Alexandria. That church meant a lot to me. I was raised in the church. Everything I knew about the Lord, the truth, I knew from Camp 8. The church got its name because it was the 8th logging camp in the state of Louisiana. The logging camp moved away and left us with a name, Camp 8. A lot of people know that name because being in the church through the years. But I'm going to have notes today to talk to you because I've got to remember right. But one of my cousins told me the other day that the church at Camp 8 had gotten down pretty low. And of course, he was not happy about it. He was sad about it, and I was sad. And after inquiring, I found out the church was not quite as low as he thought, but the church is definitely gone through a lot of things like COVID and time and so forth. But I want to tell you, I got to thinking about it being low, small in number, and I got to thinking, wait 1 minute. There's some encouragement here because Camp 8 did a lot of good for the church. You'd be shocked at what came out of the dedication, the consecration, and the hard work of people. For instance, Oscar Dias. Oscar Dias was a preacher that came out of Camp 8. He built a church, a new building in Montgomery, Louisiana, where he pastored. He built a new building in Rose Pine, Louisiana, close to DeRidder, Louisiana. And he also pastored in Faraday, Louisiana, and built a new church building there. You know, that little town is where Brother Jimmy Swaggart, Mickey Gilley, Jerry Lee Lewis, and a lot of other famous people are from. He built a great church building there. Okay, another one that came from the efforts of Camp 8 was Reed Powell. I don't remember, I was too young, but I do remember that he pastored out from Oakdale, Louisiana. And then there was T.C. Bonnet, a great preacher. He was an office holder, foreign missions. He pastored in Vicksburg, Mississippi. He pastored one of the largest churches in the state that was in Oakdale, Louisiana. And before he left this world, he went and pastored Camp 8 because he wanted to be of service and pay back some of what he had. And then, of course, I came from there. O.C. Marler, I came from Camp 8. And I built a church in Dallas, Texas, my wife and I, from scratch. They didn't have anyone, and we built a nice building and a nice educational building. And then Brother Bobby Stanley came and took it on up. We stayed there 10 years before we became in an officer in a church, home missions director, and our largest number was 247, I believe it was. There's still a official record of that. And then Brother Stanley took it on to, I think, way up, maybe 500. The church has done good all the years. And then I pastored at Hodge, Louisiana, and built a beautiful church there in Hodge by the help of all the people. And I want to tell you, Brother Nathaniel Urshan, the general superintendent, came and dedicated it, and he said it was the most beautiful church he had ever dedicated, and he had dedicated a lot of them. So what I'm saying to you is, there's no way for us, even in our minds, to discredit Camp 8. Of course, the person, let me reiterate, the person that talked to me about it, he was wanting it to do good. And then there was Ennis Bonnet. Ennis Bonnet was an orator. He would be an orator in any camp he would be speaking at. No matter where he was, he was an orator. He built some to the church, or built a church in Louisiana camp, and he built a church also in Winfield, Louisiana. And then there was Edmund Ted Dice that was from that church, and he pastored in Natchitoches, Louisiana, built a new church in Natchitoches, Louisiana, and built a new church in Alamogordo, New Mexico. Kudos, Camp 8, kudos. And then there's Danny George, who is from there. He pastors a church in Seeper, Louisiana. And there was Jack Holt that pastored in Colfax, Louisiana, and built a new church. And I want to say something else. There was two lady preachers, Pauline Biesi. I don't remember just where she pastored, but I understand she did well. And there's Willie Mae. She was a Powell, and she was a lady preacher. And then Brother Russell is presently the pastor there now, and he has really been a blessing to that church. And I was told that the church and the pastor and his wife, that anytime there is a disaster anywhere around, you can depend on them. Though they might be fewer in number because of circumstances beyond their control, yet they come to the aid of those who are in need and in distress. It's hard to understand and know the influence of a church I want to tack this scripture to the walls of what I am talking about. It talks about how that where two or three are gathered together, where two or three are gathered together, that God is in the midst. And if God is for us, who can be against us? Thank you, Camp 8 Church. When I came home from the service, like many others from that area, I found it necessary to move to Alexandria for work. And there's a lot of people from Camp 8 Church that aided other churches that they went to visit or went to be a part of, because they had the right foundation and they were raised right. So thank you for letting me bring this before you. God bless you.